BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
Hello, I'm Darren Jaime, and on this edition of Perspectives, we're going to tell you about empowering black males to think like winners. But there's no excuses for academic achievement for black students. We're going to tell you about how we can empower our black women with a very special guest right here on Perspectives.
Relevant to life, you bring it to the table. Whether you make a move solo or a movement with a stable. No fables, you speak on your decisions. Cause in the long run, it's your voice, your views, your vision. Keeping it real with many messages for you to know. This ain't radio, but DJ runs the show. Entertainment, he rocks it. Politics, he locks it. The host with the most would handle any topic. Don't forget to share your perspective which shines a light. Cause it might make a difference in someone else's life. What's your perspective?
And you are watching Perspectives with yours truly, Darren Jaime. Remember now, you can connect with us on Facebook at facebook.com. All you got to do is go to BronxNet Perspectives. Of course, there you can leave your comments for us, ask a question about any of the topics you hear on the show, or you can see some of our past shows by visiting us online at www.bronxnet.org. Of course, Perspectives. Well, our guest today is the president and CEO of the Center for Black Students Achievement and the chairman of the National Youth and Gang Violence Task Force. He's also a motivational speaker who's lectured at colleges and universities across the nation. And we're pleased to be joined by Mr. Dennis Raheem Watson, and we're glad to have you here with us, and good to have you.
It's a pleasure.
Once again, welcome back.
It's a pleasure.
Listen, we're talking about Women's History Month.
Right.
Talking about women.
Yes.
And you have a particular passion for sisters.
Because I have twin girls.
Okay.
And two sons. And also have a fabulous mother and two fabulous grandmothers and about 18 aunts. Mm-hmm. So I grew up in a generation like you did back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, where, you know, we come up out of a generation of romance. Isaac Hayes, Barry White, Delphonics, Blue Magic, Stylistics, Earth, Wind, and Fire, slow jams back in the day. And the people we slow jam, we didn't slow jam with horses and cows, but with black women. Mm-hmm. And they were the ones that introduced us to standards. In order for a black man back in the 70s and the 60s and the 50s and the 40s, in order for them to connect with black women, they had to be clean as a whistle, head to toe. You know, and black women used to stay in Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, Chicago, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Alaska, Jamaica, Bermuda, Trinidad, wherever we were back in the days of slow jams and Stevie Wonder, etc. Black women used to tell black men, brother, if you're going to date me, you got to come correct or don't come at all. Mm-hmm. And that's why when I look at you, I see Denzel. I'm looking at excellence. I'm looking at class. And you got that way because you saw other models out there. Temptations, clean as a whistle. Four Tops, Smokey. Even today, clean. Berry Gordy, clean as a whistle. Frankie Crocker, back in the day, clean. Now we have a generational shift. We got brothers that don't look like they belong as a part of our community. Mm-hmm. We're a folk that produce Duke Ellington and Count Basie and Nina Simone and Shirley Bassey and others. So we have to step up our game because we're living in a globally competitive world.
So from your perspective, the standard is shifted.
Oh, the standard it's shifted 100%.
And so when we talk about women,
right,
we talk about the fact of how the standard is shifted. Where do we go in terms of righting the ship? Because you referred to...
We have to manifest that. And we have to manifest that. In other words, if my generation had albums, 45, 78s, and there was no parental advisory sticker on a label because there's nothing we listen to in our generation that you couldn't take to church today or on Sunday and feel ashamed about. There's not a song. Mm-hmm. There are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of R&B songs that we listen to in our generation. No B word, no H word, no MF word, no booty call word. All of it was up and up, crystal clear. Today, the language, you wouldn't want your son or daughter to emulate 2 Chainz or Trinidad James and all of the nuts that are running around here making money off of our pain. We got Harriet Tubman out there. We got Sojourner Truth. We got Shirley Chisholm. We've got Dr. Betty Shabazz. We've got Coretta Scott King. We've got some heavyweights that have produced us. So therefore, we send the message to the world that we're not ready for prime time. So when you watch the Oscars and the Grammys, brothers are not stepping out looking like you and I. Black women are looking like they looking for a man to walk them on that red carpet, and we out here with the dark shades on looking like it's one big party. Life is no joke. That's why we've been blessed. God has sent us Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad, Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey, Paul Robeson. You can't name me one black man that God has sent to us as a people that wasn't clean as a whistle from head to toe. So the hip-hop generation has taken over the complete planet. Everywhere you go on the planet, somebody wants to look like somebody they saw on BET and MTV. And that's not going to cut it, because we are living in a high-tech, globally competitive world where President Barack Obama is an example of how black men ought to talk, how to ought to think, how to dress, and how to conduct themselves in the 21st century. We got people coming to America every single day from China, from India, from Japan, from Switzerland, from Germany, and they're talking jobs, finance, science, technology. And they're looking at
Ownership.
And they're and you know, we live in the greatest country on the planet Earth. And our job is to be ready. We should be able to sit at the table with anybody and go head to head with their technology. Whoever's got the latest cell phone, we ought to be on top of it and be ready to go. But we're so stuck. It's kind of difficult for teachers. If you've got the best teachers in black schools in New York City right now, or Chicago, Philadelphia, Atlanta, New Orleans, our children will still fail. Ask me why.
Why?
They will still fail. Ask me why.
Why?
Because when you look at our children today, they go to school each day. By the time they get to school each day, they're already on another zone. They're on another zone. What's that zone? The music they listen to. All day on the subway, on the bus. By the time they already got 2 Chainz and a whole bunch of other nutcase going on in their brains. So you're trying to talk to them about technology and math and computer literacy. Their brain is already like, wait a minute, they tuning you out. You can't walk anywhere in New York City without seeing folk with their headphone on. Violence taking place all day, guns shooting up and down. We walking across the street, headphone blocking out the world. This is the time to face the world. Take off the headphones and take off the dark shades. If you want to live on this planet Earth, you can't live in your own world. You can't live in Mars. You can't live on Jupiter. Take off the dark shades, take off and start dealing with reality. Because if we don't, we're going to lose a whole generation to nonsense and foolishness.
So have we become, so from your perspective, you're saying that we've become isolated from each other?
Absolutely. And isolated from our ancestors and the black family. We've got work to do. This is not, listen, if something happens to you, God forbid, or something happens to me, you can't get up on the phone and call Jay-Z and Beyonce and others who are making a multi-million-dollar cash. It's not going to happen. So you got to refocus. You cannot follow other people. You've got to have, every single young person has to have a purpose. When I wake up in the morning, I have a purpose. I have a mission. And my mission and purpose says I'm staying away from nonsense and foolishness. You could call me every N-word on the planet. As a matter of fact, this generation doesn't even talk about God anymore. It doesn't even talk about king or anything, their careers or what they want out of life. So living in New York City, there are only 2 words that dominate the conversation of young people. And every day I'm on the bus, I'm on the subway, and there are only 2 words that dominate this generation's mentality. Can I give you those 2 words?
Exactly.
My nigga, my nigga, my nigga. All day long, my nigga. You my nigga, my nigga, my nigga, my nigga, my nigga. Folks walking around with book bags. Don't see nobody on a bus or train reading a book. You cannot be successful without reading books. You come to my house, you'll find hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books.
Because that's the key to success.
That's the key. It's the only key. You'll see magazines. Look, I've got a son at Duke University. Full scholarship. Nothing but books growing up. I have another son at Eastern Carolina University. Nothing but books. A students, rocking and rolling. I had twin girls at the University of North Carolina in Charlotte. State of the arts, can talk, can articulate. They sound like Oprah Winfrey. They sound like Michelle Obama. My son sound like Barack. Sounding like me. Looking like me, clean as a whistle.
When I come back, I'm taking a quick break.
We got to get serious.
Let me take a quick break, and then we'll come back.
Blaming white folks and racism and all of the other stuff is not going to change our condition. We got to step up and be the folk that our ancestors created. Looking like you, talking like you. You the best.
Dennis Raheem Watson, as you know, he's got a word to say. We're going to talk a little bit about what are the strategies, because he's got a few of them, of going into the schools, going into the communities, and talking to these young people about really improving themselves. Self-help. We'll return right here on Perspectives. Be right back right after this.
Weight loss, it's one of the many ways to fight osteoarthritis pain. For more information on managing pain, go to fightarthritispain.org.
E3. Nice, Dad. Nice, Dad. Nice.
Charles!
Nice, Dad.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of siblings in foster care who'll take you just as you are.
This is so cool, Dad. This is so cool, Dad.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of siblings in foster care who'll take you just as you are.
How are you? Hey, Mom.
You know, girls, I used to cheer back in my day. Ready? Okay! Go team!
That was amazing, amazing, amazing. Mom, that was amazing.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of siblings in foster care who'll take you just as you are.
Back here with our conversation with Dennis Raheem Watson, and as we were sharing a little bit in between the break, he was letting our staff know a little bit about the history about those people who are clean as a whistle, and we got to give you credit because you're clean as a whistle here today too. Got to stay clean.
Let me tell you what is your mother's name?
Lila.
Lila. Every morning when a young person leaves home, they ought to say, when they look in the mirror and clean their face, they say, I am the United States ambassador representing Lila. You representing your mother. You representing your father. Clean as a whistle. And I was reading a book recently that says, your appearance is your message. We got a generation of sagging pants, poo-poo sticking out on the place. You can't get on the bus because you can smell all the poo-poo because of lack of hygiene. If there was a father in the house, if there was a big brother. Sometimes I grew up with nothing but men that pulled my coat. You've heard that term. Brother, you can't hang out tonight with us. You got to put on a jacket or a tie. You got to put on that because we're going to Mount Vernon. We're going to Queens. We're going to Brooklyn. So you can't do sneakers. You can't do that. So there was always somebody pulling your coat. If you left home and you didn't shave right, a brother would take his finger and say, pull that off. And this is called looking out, making sure that you. And the highest compliment back in the day that a black man could give another black man is simply this. You know Darren? No, I don't know Darren. That's my man. Or the higher compliment that's my main man. So that man, that you a man, you look like a man, and you smell like a man, and all the doors open up. And somebody puts in a good word. So we got to change the way we act, the way we talk, the way we think, and the way we dress. Because folks are not, see, we got our wives back in the day, not through rap, but through courtship. Now we got a generation of folk who sit out in the car, will not come in the house, because they know they looking skank. And another word for skank is stank. And so, therefore, we bring in all that stuff to the college campuses. Wherever we go, We got to really get back to basics. And that's why for Women's History Month, I am so honored and delighted because we just left Black History Month. We got to say, I have a program right now that is hot, it's controversial, and women love it. I've been doing it across the country for the last year. It's a lecture seminar. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. I don't know if they're ready.
It's called Life Lessons for Black Women. Subtitle, Shutting Down the Vagina.
Okay.
Taking back your power, your control, your authority, your emotions, and your mind from thugs, players, rappers, married men, and others. The bottom line is, we got a generation of treating the nookie as though it's a hotel. Come in, come out. Any Tom, Dick, and Harry gets an opportunity to sleep with you. Wait a minute. You know nothing about this person's background, their history, their medical conditions, whether they have high blood pressure, diabetes,
Right.
or whatever. You don't know their sexual proclivities. You're just allowing folk to come in because you got a good butt or you got cleavage showing. Our children are manifesting all of the dysfunctions of their parents. We got to shut that vagina down. Every young woman from the age of 18 to 28 ought to be focusing on a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. By the time she hit 28, she's already said, I've been to Bermuda, I've been to Africa, I've been to the Bahamas, I've been to Mexico, I've been to the Dominican Republic, I have traveled, I've done stuff, I've been to Paris, I've done stuff.
Let me ask you this.
And so we need a track record of success before we bring children on the planet Earth.
Let me get here.
They're not getting no attention. All the attention is going to the cell phone.
Give me some attention for a minute. Let me ask you this question.
Go ahead.
You come out here with this hot topic. You're saying this out there, talking about shutting down the vagina.
Yes.
What is the reception like with women when you talk about
They're loving it. The same way they love Steve Harvey, stink like a man, act like a woman. We got to, we've got to change because people are getting over. We've got folks out here you know what? It's nothing new. Phil, when we had baby mama drama with the Maury show, I know, Darren, you the daddy. Got the same nose, same eyes. I know you the daddy. I'm 1,000,000% sure you the daddy. 2 minutes later, they running off the stage and crying. They ain't got 5 other guys coming through. There's 6 other guys. This show went on for about 10 years. There was not enough folks to come on and talk. We got to know. You got to know who comes in and out of your house. This is not a room for every Tom, Dick, and Harry. You got to shut it down. And women have to today tell black men and Hispanic men what they told me back in the day. You know what they told me every time I try to rap for some nookie? You know what they told me?
What?
No. You got to earn this. Everything a male who's going to marry somebody has to earn. We got to earn everything in life. Not because you cute or fine or I like your haircut or I like your nose. This is superficial judgments about people. Folks don't bring flowers no more. Folks don't go out on dates anymore. Every activity I run into, a lady used to tell me, my man don't take me out. But he goes to the club, he'll come in the house, he'll lay up in the bed, play video games, watch movies, but on Saturday, he's paying somebody for a lap dance. Or they got free nookie from you, but he's out there paying a stranger for a lap dance. He's out at the clubs doing stuff and you get no attention. Shut it down. The bottom line is no longer about love. Do you love me? The bottom line is, do you respect me? You got to make people respect you. And how do you make people respect you? By carrying yourself better, and also attaching value.
Right. So you take this message out, and you're taking this across the nation. You have it out there right now.
Oh yeah.
How do people get in touch with you in terms of doing this one here?
Oh well, it's very easy. Folks can get in touch with me through email, saving.ouryouth@yahoo.com, and I'm with the Winners Program. I have a program called the Winners Program. The telephone number is 212-726-2285. Again, 212-726.
All right, well, let's do this.
8825.
We got to take a quick break. We're going to come back with some more, get some final comments from you. Going to talk about our brothers and the handcuff situation.
Oh, yes.
That's real.
Yes.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back. Dennis Raheem Watson, our guest in the studio.
Hey, How's it going?
Sir, are you okay?
What? Oh, this? It's probably nothing. I'm sure it'll go away.
Go away? But, sir, that can't be good.
No, it's cool. Really.
Do you want a napkin or something?
Everything's fine. Thanks.
You wouldn't ignore this. So why ignore the signs of a stroke? At the first warning signs, call 911 immediately. Because time lost is brain lost.
Hands can do incredible things. Now they can even help save a life with hands-only CPR. If you see an adult suddenly collapse, just call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of the chest until help arrives. Learn more at handsonlycpr.org.
Did you find the flashlight and the batteries?
Yes.
Did you make sure we're not missing anything in the first aid kit?
Yep.
Did you go through the plan with the kids again?
Yes. The more you prepare today, the more you'll be able to reduce the devastating effects of a tornado, an earthquake, a power outage, or any other disaster.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Continuing our conversation with Dennis Raheem Watson, and we were telling a little bit about dealing with our young brothers and the fact that as we look at our young brothers, there's a lot of brothers who are really doing some positive things.
Yes.
But it seems like the ones who are doing the worst are getting the most press.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's, you know, working with youth and gangs, we got at one point, gangs used to, young folks used to join gangs.
Mm-hmm.
Today, that doesn't happen anymore. Gangs join young people. Young people used to join the gangs. Now the gangs join young folk wherever you are. They'll slip in on you and act like they're part of you, and then they'll snatch you up. So the real bottom line is that, you know, we people talking about mass incarceration of black males. Those are the knuckleheads. And the knuckleheads dominate, take all the time and energy out of those who are working on bachelor's and master's at Fordham. Fordham's my alma mater. I went to Fordham with Denzel.
Mm-hmm.
Denzel was a powerful influence upon me. And so I spent all my adult life giving back either to Manhattan, Brooklyn, or Queens, because that's where I've gotten all my, you know, my experience and my commitment to black folks from. The older I get, the number one most important thing in my life right now is freedom. Freedom. Mm-hmm. No handcuffs, no cops, no jail, no bail, none of this. I don't get caught up in nonsense. You call me every name you want. Call me a punk, call me a this or that. I keep on rolling because I want to go home at night, every single night. I want to see my kids graduate from college. I want to see them become successful. I want to see them get married. So I have to do what Les Brown, the great motivational speaker, advised me about 10 years ago at a Black Family Conference in Las Vegas, Nevada. You know what? The key that, and I'm about to celebrate my 60th birthday.
Congratulations.
And Les Brown says, in order for you to be successful in life, you got to tell yourself to shut up. So every day when I'm on the subway or the bus or I'm on the street and I run into the knuckleheads and they're angry and they're violent and nothing to do with me, I tell myself to shut up and I keep smiling. And the other thing is when I feel myself being threatened by a young man or nuts, I say this. Sorry, my man. Apologize, my brother. Peace. Apologize. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And I tell young folks, when your life is threatened, automatically become wise. Be the first to apologize. See yourself laying on the beach in Bermuda, the Virgin Islands, Trinidad. So see yourself doing something with your life. But you can't do that if you get caught up in other people's anger. So we need a new type of man, leadership, pull up those pants, get rid of all that nonsense, take off the dark shades, take off the earphones, and let's busy. Barack Obama gave us a clue. He said he's prepared to give green cards to any group that will study technology and science and create jobs. He didn't say look for a job. He says create jobs. Well, if that mission can go out to folk in China and India and other places, and we live here, and don't need a green card, you got a passport, we got to jump on a boat and do what we're supposed to do while Barack Obama is still president of the United States. This ain't no joke, my friend.
Dennis Raheem Watson, our guest. We're getting ready to get out of here, but listen, I want to let you know he is a man that has received,
they're coming. This is Atlanta. That's in the Bronx.
Yeah,
Continue.
all across the United States. This is the borough of the Bronx and Atlanta and all across the United States.
For the work from the Bronx. We're doing the work, and this is from Staten Island.
Okay.
So we out there in the trenches volunteering.
And we want
giving something back.
Give us
to
something
our
back.
folk.
And we want you to
all
give
across
back.
the country. All across the country. Get busy going out there and save some folk, especially those who are rapping, got all that cash and won't give back nothing. Give something back, because those with the least give the most, and those with the most give the least. And I love you, Darren.
I love you too, Dennis.
You're the best of the best.
Gotta get out of here. Dennis Raheem Watson, our guest. That about wraps it up for this edition of Perspectives. Of course, you can find out more information about Dennis at the bottom of your screen. And we want you to stay tuned to Perspectives. Share your perspective with somebody else, as it might make a difference in someone else's life. For all of us here on the show, thanks for watching. Until the next time we meet, stay safe and God bless.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.